Hello, my name is Zach Waters, and thank you for taking a couple of minutes of your time to listen to my story and my plans for my Birdmen book project in conjunction with the very reputable Blue Coat Press. Birdmen is an insight into the world of pigeon racing, or pigeon fancying as it's widely known. The book charts my travels around the British Isles, meeting and observing the Birdmen Brotherhood. No matter where I went, whether it was Birkenhead, Sheffield, Dagenham or Horden Colliery, I was welcome and made to feel part of their unique club. I became inspired to document the Birdmen as I remembered as a child watching groups of pigeons flying in the skies around my village. I grew up in a small working class village in the northeast of England, where there was once a predominant mining workforce. A number of the men in the village, unbeknown to me, were pigeon fanciers who bred, cared for and raced their pigeons 365 days a year. So there was I, some years later, walking on a spring afternoon in Newcastle. In the skies above me was a familiar scene from my childhood. Swarms of birds flying together in groups of 20 or more, looping around the sky. I decided to investigate, and I followed the road to where the birds were flying from. I came across a number of fenced gardens with a number of wooden pigeon lofts in each plot. One of these lofts had men sitting outside, talking and joking as they drank tea, and looked transfixed towards the sky. I knocked on a random gate and was told to come through by a broad and booming northern voice. "Do you want a cup of tea, son?" I had just entered the world of the Birdmen. Pigeon racing is all about love. For the men, it's the love of the sport, and for the pigeons, the love of each other and home. Two pigeons once paired will stay with each other for life, which is why when a bird is released at a point of, say, 600 miles from its home, it will strive to be back beside its partner as fast as it can. The Birdmen's success is pairing compatible birds together, as well as keeping them fit and healthy. This is the key to producing a successful racing pigeon. The racing season starts in April, where they race their old birds, and ends in September with the Birdmen racing their young birds. From around the late 19th century to most of the 20th century, pigeon racing was strongly embedded within the working communities around the UK. So when my travels begun with the Birdmen, it was a different world. Membership had dropped to around 46,000. The men were finding it increasingly difficult to attract new members, especially from within their own families. The winding down and eventual collapse of major industries, including coal mining, shipbuilding and steel making, was a significant factor in the decline of Birdmen numbers in many parts of the British Isles. Skilled men, whose families for generations had been in employment, were now faced with redundancy and job layoffs. This led to higher unemployment, debt and relocations. Communities were in turmoil, and so was the Birdmen's. Ironically, the sport's popularity worldwide has rocketed. In the US, there are many big purse races with prize money reaching over $50,000, and buyers from the Middle East and China are frequent visitors to England and mainland Europe, where birds can be auctioned off for as much as €250,000. Even with the outstanding support of the Royal Pigeon Racing Association, the community is dwindling, some say disappearing. That's why my Birdmen book is an important documentation of a part of British culture we really get to see or even understand. It is important to keep the Birdmen legacy alive and active in whatever form we can. The Birdmen are the last of a working class breed, through whom you can chart not only the decline of traditional industries in the UK, but changes in the life of a community that is fast becoming lost forever. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.